Welcome back to our Autotech 5 channel where we bring you the most legendary rides in automotive history. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most iconic muscle cars ever made, the Plymouth Barracuda. A car that shook the streets in the 60s and 70s, taking on Mustangs, Camaros, and even Mopars. But what made the Barracuda so special? Was it just raw muscle, or did it have something more? Stay tuned as we break it all down: design, comfort, performance, and why this beast still holds a special place in the muscle car world. The Plymouth Barracuda was first introduced in 1964, based on the Valiant platform. But it wasn't until 1970 that it truly became a muscle car icon. This third-generation Barracuda came in three body styles: hardtop, convertible, and the aggressive CUDA variant. Under the hood, you had engine choices ranging from a 225/6 to a monstrous 426 Hemi V8 pumping out a jaw-dropping 425 horsepower. Designed to take on Ford's Mustang and Chevy's Camaro, the Barracuda wasn't just a muscle car, it was a statement. But was it all about the power, or did it bring more to the table? Let's check out the design. Take a look at this beauty. The 1970 Plymouth Barracuda had a design that screamed muscle. The long hood, the short rear deck, and that aggressive front end, it was a classic American coupe at its best. The CUDA variant took things to another level, with a shaker hood scoop that moved with the engine's vibrations, making it look alive. You also had optional hood pins, racing stripes, and high-impact colors like lemon twist, plum crazy, and Hemi orange, pure 70s muscle car madness. And let's not forget those legendary rear taillights and the sculpted body lines, giving the Barracuda a stance that made it look ready to pounce even when standing still. But does the interior match the aggressive exterior? Let's find out. Step inside, and you'll find a cockpit built for driving. The Barracuda's interior was simple but functional. You had a driver-focused dash with classic round gauges, a pistol grip shifter for that true muscle car feel, and bucket seats that kept you in place during aggressive driving. Raleigh instrument cluster gave you a tachometer and extra performance gauges, keeping you informed about the beast under the hood. And while the rear seats weren't the most spacious, let's be honest, this car was all about the driver. But what about comfort? Let's talk about it. Well, let's just say the Barracuda was built for power, not plush rides. The suspension was tuned for performance, meaning you'd feel every bump on the road. The interior materials were decent for the time, but don't expect luxury here. The seats were supportive, but on long drives, you'd probably feel a bit of that muscle car stiffness. Noise insulation. Forget about it. This car was loud, raw, and unapologetic. But for enthusiasts, that was part of the experience. You weren't just driving a car, you were commanding a powerhouse. Speaking of power, it's time for the real fun: performance. Alright, let's talk about what makes the Barracuda a true legend: its performance. If you opted for the base models, you got decent power. But if you check the right boxes, you could get a 340, a 383, a 446 pack, or the mighty 426 Hemi. The Hemi CUDA. That was a beast. 0 to 60 in about 5.8 seconds, a quarter mile in the low 13s, and an engine note that made your heart race. Rear-wheel drive, a solid rear axle, and a 4-speed manual meant you had to actually drive this car. No traction control, no assists, just raw, unfiltered muscle. Was it the best handling car? Not really. But in a straight line, it dominated. This was a true muscle car in every sense. So, what makes the Plymouth Barracuda so special? It wasn't just a muscle car, it was a symbol of American horsepower. From its aggressive styling to its monstrous V8 options, the Barracuda stood out as one of the greatest Mopars ever built. Today, finding an original Hemi CUDA is like finding treasure. These cars have skyrocketed in value, with some selling for millions at auctions. If you ever get the chance to own or drive one, don't hesitate. It's an experience that takes you straight back to the golden era of muscle cars. What do you think about the Plymouth Barracuda? Would you take this over a Mustang or a Camaro? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this review, hit that like button, subscribe to Protan Saga, and stay tuned for more legendary rides. Until next time, keep chasing horsepower.